We'll leave the insulated line posts. These are a little bit harder to get out of the ground, and as long as a cow doesn't push this over, which one very well could, this will be in the perfect spot for when we need to set this wire up again. And it looks as if everyone has made the move, so we'll go ahead and shut this gate. Come down. Of course she does. I've got some water to check here. We've got to run up to the heifer pasture. Those girls need a new pasture, and that pasture happens to need a new water trough. So the plan is to get all those cows taken care of and then get back here and hopefully finish the bale spear. That's what's going on today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. Come on, let's get in. Get in. Good girl. We're here at the heifer pasture. Picked up a new water trough on the way over here. You can see this one's got quite a bit of rust in it, and it's got some gigantic holes. I'll show you guys once I pull it out. I think the big problem with this stock tank is that for a couple years I fed loose salt out of it, and that really kind of ate up that galvanized coating and the metal itself. So that's what we got. This side you get a better look at where these holes are. There's a little one here, but this big one down here is where, look at that. That's where I was losing the majority of the water. A lot of people ask me, why don't I flex seal these water troughs when they get holes in them like that? And this one I actually did flex seal, and I have not been impressed with flex seal at all. All right, we'll get this filling up. We'll go get the cows. Well, let's go see if we can find the cows and get them to come down here. I think I'd probably be smart to pull the back rubber down and off to the side, because what often happens is they get excited when they know they're moving pastures and they start running down here, and they don't have time, or they choose not to stop at the back rubber, and they'll either try to jump over it or just plow right through it. So we'll get this out of the way so we don't have any problems. Should be out of harm's way right there. Come on! Little kiddos. Oh, you dumb calves. Well, if there's gonna be a problem moving pastures, it's gonna be from the calves, and that's exactly what we got. Go up there. There we go. When I check on this group of cattle, I'm mostly looking at fly load, eyes, and lameness. I want to see a low fly load, I want to see good eyes, and I want to see no lameness. And when they all come charging down here at full speed to get into the new field, that's usually a good indicator that lameness is not an issue. Fly load looks pretty acceptable as well. I wish I would have brought some stuff to recharge that back rubber, and I might do that in the next day or so, just because I don't want the flies to get to a point where they are bad. It's a lot easier to just kind of maintain them at a lower level. But all in all, I would say everybody is looking pretty good, and you know, it's also not a bad thing to just walk amongst them and get them comfortable. These older cows are fine with me. The Bismarck bull is pretty much fine with me, but the heifers and the calves are still kind of getting used to having me around, and just walking through them and looking them over is a good way to do that. Isn't that right? New tank's full. I don't see any water on the ground, so I guess we can head back home. I won't show you in too great a detail, but it's a rodent nest of some type, hopefully a gopher. Although, I'll be honest, I can't think of a type of rodent that I wish we had more of, so whatever it was, it's good that Callie found it. Well, if you couldn't tell, we're back at the ranch now, and I was hoping to get back in the shop this afternoon, and I guess the original goal was to finish the double spear. The new goal is to now just work on it and get anything done. I kind of got hung up over at the heifer pasture, and now I got this water that I need to tend to, so it's just one of those days where I feel like I'm getting pulled in about 10 different directions, and I never actually get to work on the thing that I really wanted to work on when I woke up this morning. This block is almost finished. I've got one check that is behind, and it's not a surprise because this check is, it's hard to get this one to finish. I think it's got a high spot down there in the middle or something, because it reaches a certain point and it's like the water comes to a standstill, and it just takes time. It takes hours for it to get down. But now, since the rest of the checks are done, we're getting 100% of our water flow on this check. So if anything will make it finish a little bit faster, it's that. That is, if I can keep the water contained in the check. You can see we've got plenty of leaks. Callie, Callie, here. You almost stepped on it. Did you get it? I was just about to pull out of here, and I saw that gopher hopping through the puddle there, so I wanted to make sure that Callie got it, because if there's one thing that we don't need out here, it's gopher mounds. So with that, let's head back to the shop. Where we last left off, I just cut out these pieces of rectangular tubing and drilled the holes in for the spear bushing, only to realize the holes are a little bit too small and I need to open them up a little bit. So first, I want to blow all of the metal shavings from the drilling process off of these, and then we'll start working on that. Before I go welding the bushings and the bushing mounts onto the frame, I want to take some measurements off the spears while everything is still loose. I don't want them sort of like pigeon-toed together or lopsided. I want everything to be straight. And they actually look pretty good. I measured at the tip of the spears, we're 3 feet apart, which is what they are at the base, so that is good that way. And then it's kind of difficult to really measure the other direction, but to my eye, it looks pretty good. So what I'm saying is, I guess I can go ahead and tack these in, and I'll tell you this, opening these holes up with the die grinder took forever. And I think that when and if I make some other sort of spear contraption, when I drill holes for the spear bushings, I'm gonna actually get the proper hole saw so that I don't have to go through this again. Bright side is no gaps. The bad side or bad part about doing it this way is that I can't actually weld on the side of the bushing where the nut is gonna go. At least I don't think I can, but that's all right because I can do a full circle up here and then I can do a half circle inside the tube down here. So I guess I'll get these tacked on here, and then that's gonna be as far as I get on this project today. But the updated goal was to accomplish something, and we'll at least do that. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to be happy with baby steps today. Opening up these holes really took a lot more time than I thought it would, but nevertheless, we've got a very critical part of the double spear done, and that is the spear mounts. From here, it's really just capping holes, gusseting corners, and things like that, and then I think we'll be ready to run this thing through a test. Oh, and bottom spears. I am planning to put a couple of lower, shorter spears on this thing as well. I had a lot of people, or possibly the same person multiple times, telling me that I need to put the spears on the bottom of the frame so that I can use this like pallet forks as well as like a bale spear. And that's not a bad idea, except for the fact that I already have pallet forks, and if I mount the spears on the bottom of the frame, then I lose a little bit of height of how high I can stack bales. Mounting the spears on the bottom would mount them about 17 inches lower, and that may not sound like a lot, and it's not, but it could very well be the difference between being able to get a bale on top of a stack and not. But anyway, well, maybe tomorrow I'll get a little further on it. You know, it kind of just dawned on me that this video is really sort of a repeating theme, isn't it? Doing something with irrigation water and moving cows. So in keeping true to this theme, the next two things that I need to do this evening are get the valve set for the irrigation water to run tonight, and then go move the cows into their new pasture. Got all my valves set, now I just need to get my dams in place. And then we can go move cows. The big disadvantage for me doing daily moves is that I am essentially forcing the cattle to trail for water, and that's exactly what they do. And I end up with all of these cow trails going across the top of my field. When the cattle make a trail up here, they end up cutting through the levees. So then when I come back to irrigate, I put water in places where I don't want it to be. And that's why I have to go through here with these dams and throw them down to block off the cow trails. In fact, I could probably cut out like 3 or 4 more dams and use them almost every time. And I actually may end up doing that. In the old days, we grazed this 12 acres all in one shot. We'd bring the cows out here, leave them out for 7 days, and then move them into the middle field after that. This was certainly a lot more easy, a lot less labor, and we didn't have the issues with cattle trails like I have now, because the cattle could walk to water from any spot in the field. But I guess the trade-off is soil health and carrying capacity, because now I'm running more cattle out here than I had before, and the pasture is able to sustain them. Get up. Get up. Let's go. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. When going from the little field to the middle field, you got to get everybody up in the corral first, because these two pastures share a fence. So if I was to just open this gate out to the middle field, probably about half of them would make it, and then the other half would just run up and down this fence line trying to figure out how to get in with them. So by doing things this way, there's really only one way that they can go, and it's the right way. Turn, 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 turn. And then the other little caveat to moving them into this field is, as soon as I open the gate, I run over here and stand by the wire, because I always move them in here in the evening. The sun is right in their face. It would be really easy for them to not see this wire and just walk right through it. But with me standing here, it creates a little bit more of a visual barrier, and it kind of reminds them to make the turn to go on back. Well, I guess that's a good place to call it. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.